Okay, this second video, again we're talking about corners on a tatami, on a matted area, and the things you need to think about. We're not doing the actual techniques that you might do, because most of the time it's about understanding positioning. So good placement on an area. Getting out of positions is about knowing what you're going to do. How you do it will just be dependent on the situation. So you can practice scenarios, but the most important thing to start with is kind of understanding what your basic principles are to you as a fighter about moving out. Now sometimes, I said in the first video, we talk about drawing someone in. So there are certain nationalities which will fight in this way. British fighters tend to be quite strong and moving forwards, quite aggressive in that nature. There'll be other nationalities, especially in sport karate, which will draw you on, and for point fighting it's a lot easier to draw on and pick points off. So they'll just pick points off to win the contest, as much as they will stick their foot out for a Joe guy if they think it's a bit of gamesmanship and they can use that to then progress themselves to a win, and hoping they're not going to get penalised by the referees for it. So sometimes fighters will draw in, so they'll let you come forward. It's a bit like they drop their guard low, so then you've got a target here to the face, they want you to attack to the face, so they'll drop their hands lower. Subconsciously you will see that, just gradually, not straight away, and then they will draw you to this area, and then they'll block and counter you, so they want you to attack. So when they draw back, someone will want you to draw you in, get you to come in and get you to attack. So they might still put pressure on a little bit as they draw you in to come in, but they're looking for that block and counter. So that could be anything from a block to a kick. It could be where they might stab forwards, let you come and then counter you. It could be where they'll break off and then attack you. Now, how good the person is will be dependent on whether they score the point or not. But you've got to be very aware of the person that draws you in, because sometimes in the corner you'll feel you're rushed having to do something because you're the person that's on the front foot, and they will force you to make a mistake by getting you again to attack, and they'll time their break off, they'll time their block and counter to attack you. So you have to be very aware of that. So if you've got someone that pulls you in, sometimes the thing not to do is don't follow them into the corner, okay, because that's where they want you to come. You think you're doing a good job, but what they're doing is they're drawing you into one of the corners, and then they already have their game plan of how they're going to score a point. And that can be when it's a draw. Sometimes you're winning and they still do that. If they are winning and they're good at that tactic, then that's where difficulties arise, and it's difficult sometimes to get those points back. Especially the way sport karate's gone in recent years, they use that as a good strategy, especially if they've already scored the first point, and you need 2 points to catch up. So that is using, all of this is about using your space and using your area to your advantage. So when you use an area, you really need to use all of it and be aware of using all of it. As you become more experienced, you'll understand it's not about always holding ground, always attacking, or always being on the offensive. It's like any competition that has area involved, and remember this is sport, not self-defense as such. It can be not about ending it quickly, it can be about taking longer, using the time you've got, and being a bit more clever, because at the end of the day it's who scored the most points at the end. You're not knocking each other out. If you're doing that, that can vary and is different because of what the outcome needs to be. With point fighting, it doesn't matter how long the fight goes on, it just matters about who's got the most points at the end. So just be aware that some competitors, some fighters, even in sparring as well, they will want to draw you in because that suits their style of fighting. Okay? So just a couple of things for you to think about, both when you're going forwards, attacking to try and get points, and also for the other person who's thinking about drawing someone in. So try and work on both parts of your sparring. And the most important thing from these videos is to be aware of that. and you can do that on grade sparring. It's important. It's important for 2 and 3 onto 1 as well, using areas. And also, it's very, very important for your point fighting. Okay, that's at any level. Okay, and it'll make you a better. It'll make you a better karateka, a better martial artist if you can understand area.